Hi everybody, this is Christelle at Vintage Christelle YouTube and Christelle at Etsy.com. That's CHRYSTELLE. And I'm also over at Your Paper Pantry, and that is a terrific place to go to if you want to join a group of crafters, scrapbookers, altered art makers, tag makers. They just have every craft there and several groups that you can join for swaps, and it is so fun. I've been missing it a lot because I had to work at my job. You know, some of you know that I work at a charity thrift shop, and we've been really busy throughout the winter. We moved our building, but it's such a rewarding job because we give away so much to the needy, and we had all of our Christmas baskets and our Thanksgiving baskets this year that we give away, and give away food every day and help the needy with their power bills so they can keep their heat on this winter, and do all kinds of great stuff there. And I enjoy it because I'm the book lady and I get to be around books, which I love. And but now I need to stay home for a little while because I think I have what they call librarian arm, what I call librarian arm. I quoted that to my doctor. It's from shelving those books. Anyway, I wanted to show, blah blah blah, I'm talking. I wanted to show the card I did after Roxy at Roxyfur at YouTube, and Roxy from the Fearless Leader at Your Paper Pantry posted a video series on Card-Spiration, making cards. And so I made one. I think mine is not as big as hers, and I tried to imitate the style in which she made it. And I made my first stick pin, which, let me get something to hold it up, my coffee cup. Made my first stick pin in there, and I had been telling some of the girls that my mom used to make, and my grandmother made hat pins, and they collected antique hat pins. I did the back too on some of them. Some of them I did on purpose, and some of them I did because I made the mistake of papering the wrong side. But anyway, here's another one that's on the way, and I forget the name of these sort of cloth tape strips that come. Maybe somebody can tell me. They come in a like a sticker sheet. But I tried to make a few. I had 3 flowers, so I tried to make a few alike. And I got these images on Etsy.com. And I'm going to forget everybody's name, but I'll try to put it in when I list the video. Only made one stick pin because I only had one pin at home, and I don't live near a craft shop, but I'm going to go to the doctor today in a town where there is one, so I'll get some pins. But anyway, wanted to share this. My mom passed away in 2007 from Parkinson's disease, which was, you know, sad in, of course, on its own, but the fact that she was a crafter and a sewer all of her life long. And so there were some things that she made for me that are precious to me because, or she left to me too, that are precious. I don't know, my light's not too bad. But because of her efforts to make them when she was not well. And I can't remember if she actually made this pincushion thing the base, but she ended up putting her antique buttons, which she always collected antique buttons, and so did my grandma, and I have a huge collection, and I have button bracelets that they made. Well, she put this pin on here, but she also put one of the stick pins that she made. Anyway, they had hat collections, purse collections, they had you know, the lucite purses and handmade bags and the Enid Collins 60s bags and everything. But there's 5 girls in my family, so we all have some of them. But anyway, this is a really, really pretty purple one that she made with antique buttons, beads, and jewelry pieces. And she always saved buttons and jewelry pieces and made those pictures really beautiful. I'm going to have to do a video on that. And then she has a little pin here that says love, which isn't really, you know, doesn't like fit the era, but I left it on there because I love my mom. And she was a sweetie. Oh, here's another card I made, but I have to put something in the middle there. And so then I got on a card making kick and started using my own ephemera that I have and some of my own kits that I make up. I make up kits like this. Wait a minute. That I use my own digital collages that I make, and I sell those on Etsy. But I make some up to sell, and then I make my own kits or kits for swaps with friends, so that I can cut those up and make my own cards. And like when I'm ready to go to make a card or a tag or a collage or something, then I have everything ready that would be like within the, like, sound like I'm from California now. Within the realm of color, tones and values, or whatever you call that. So like here I have a kit that I made up with vintage buttons and beads and lace and embroidery thread, and then here's a pack that goes with it with lace pieces and trims and rhinestones and stuff. And so that was I forget what that's called, the wedding party news, that collage. So then I could start right in to make a card. So I did have already have the bits and the elements to make this card. This is a K & Company trim. My hands are back. K & Company trim, and then some vintage wallpaper backgrounds I bought from a person on Etsy. And then I had my secret blue paper that I'll tell some of you about if you're from YPP, your paper pantry. And then a vintage stamp, and then I have vintage music sheets that I copy to linen acid-free paper so it won't age, you know, and deteriorate. So this one was called Song Without Words. I thought it was pretty with that bird. And then one of my little secret fun things is to, I don't know if I have it here, use every bit of a stamp that I have. So, I wonder if I could show you fast enough. But I made those little sort of dotty flowers on the tree by stamping a stamp out, and then on the very center using a paper punch. And then I use a big punch, a bigger punch, like a circular, just a circle punch that's like, you know, 1/2 inch or 1 inch, and I punch the center of that, and I use that for the flowers. And then I use this piece as, what do you call those, reinforcement labels on the top of tags. And then I use this piece on a card. And then there's even more, like I press an even bigger hole out of the these borders of the stamp. And so then later I can, like, I'll show you on a flower, but I can cut those out and use those as frames on a person's face. So then I think that I have time to make a longer video, so I just I call those my artsy startsies, or those packets that I make, my collage bit kits, so that I can go in and make a card like this. So I had this vintage image of a girl, and then my friend had sent me a cutout butterfly that she embellished with the paints, and I don't know if you could tell that it's pretty sparkly. So I cut this, I just used a piece of I don't know if it was K & Company or what kind of paper, but it had a design that was repetitive on there, so I cut it out and it looks like a vintage label. Then I used the German scrap to go over that, and then I added a bead, and this is just the back, I believe, of one of the botanical papers that's by Seven Gypsies. And used a vintage stamp, used that music paper again that I copy, and I cut a strip out of a piece of paper and used it along the top, so it looks really pretty antique and vintage. Oh, and I did a little bit of colored pencil on her hair, and again used one of those little dots like a jewel. Oh, don't look at my nails. So anyway, I make little bits that I start, like, it's terrible light, that I use strips of paper, labels. I used a little crown that I purchased a digital collage sheet from someone else on Etsy and put it on this girl, and then got some other digital art that I put and made a bird theme. So then I punch the corners, and then I'm ready to go when I want to make a card or a collage or whatever. I'm working on these Marie Antoinette cards, and used German scrap, and took a stamp and used it over a piece of travel paper and then cut it out. Cut some strips there. Here's another Marie. So I'll still keep going, you know. It's hard to know when it's done. This one I'm making is called, the music sheet was called Lingering Lonely Rose, and so I put this girl on there, but it kind of makes me sad to think that she's stuck on there and lonely forever. But use vintage stamps and stuff from Tim Coffey and Tim Holtz and K & Company and whomever. Then I try to just, you know, stamp the back. I don't do all of the, sign the back. I don't do all of the everything. This is a card I made using a journal note off of a piece of paper, I think. A bird stamp, a little girl image, vintage Denmark stamp, and I just distressed my own label that was from the back of a piece of scrapbook paper and put my own lettering on there and do that. Oh, okay, we're gonna ignore you. Anyway, so then this last one is I sewed the edges of it, added a butterfly, a stamp, distressed the edges. On this butterfly, put some fakey rhinestones. So I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.